why I'm switching to Signal. Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. There are a bunch of messaging apps out there. WhatsApp, for example, is extremely popular around the world. Telegram has made some pretty good inroads. Facebook Messenger is extremely popular since it's just there for all those Facebook users. SMS, RCS text messaging also remains popular. And I know that there are dozens of others as well. While I'm not necessarily uninstalling any of them right now, I'm definitely switching my preference to using Signal. I want to explain why and encourage you to evaluate your situation and consider it as well. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to be quoting a blog written by a federal employee, a guide to using Signal for government workers. Quote, Signal messages are always end-to-end encrypted between your device and the recipient's device. Note the always. The only people able to see your communications are yourself and the persons you're communicating with. There's no one to intercept, record, or report your messages. Quote, the only information Signal has is when a user signed up and when they last used Signal. They have no information about who you chat with or call, your contacts, or even your profile ID. This means that even if asked or demanded, Signal has nothing to offer. With zero data storage, they simply don't have the information. Quote, they publish every single subpoena they receive as well as their response. I don't know. For some reason, this tickles me. You just can't provide information you don't have. Quote, Signal is a free app that lets you securely communicate with anyone, run by a trusted nonprofit that has had an excellent track record since 2018. It's the communication app of choice for embedded journalists, whistleblowers, and just about anyone who's concerned about malicious surveillance. Now, Signal has all the features we care about. Text messages, voice calls, voice messages, in other words, sending a recording rather than trying to hold an interactive call, video calls, group chat and calls, attachments, disappearing messages. It's basically everything you could want out of a messaging app. The only limitation I've discovered so far is that Signal assumes you have an SMS-capable telephone in order to set it up initially. I found some workarounds, but they all have side effects, some of which potentially affect the very privacy that we're after. So why am I switching? Well, to once again quote that essay, once you switch to Signal, it really is no different than other text apps, but it comes with the added safety and security of knowing everything you've said can't be intercepted along the way, and no one at Signal stores your messages anywhere. I'll likely move to Signal for texting, with most people eventually, since I don't know if I can trust Apple or Google or any other company to protect my personal data in the years ahead. Indeed, besides Apple and Google and Microsoft, I'd add any of the popular messaging carriers to this concern. Facebook, Messenger, and WhatsApp has an abysmal record in so many different ways. Telegram, while very laudable, apparently does keep more information and has provided it in response to legal subpoenas. And the telephone companies behind SMS and RCS are almost always at the whim of the authorities. Now, if you've followed me for any length of time, you'll know that one of my very, very common responses to people who seem overly concerned about privacy and surveillance is that you and I just aren't that interesting. Microsoft, Google, or any other cloud provider, they don't care what's in your documents. Hackers care about your credit card number, not your private messages. We're simply not that important in the grand scheme of things. I still believe that. And yet, I've always included an important exception. Unless you're living in a repressive or authoritarian regime. Now, without getting deeply into political and social topics, I'll just say that portions of the world we used to consider safe seem to be on the brink of what could be a very concerning change. While I don't believe there's necessarily an issue today, it is a future possibility. As a result, I want to prepare and shift my communications with others into more secure, private forms. So, bottom line, consider your situation. Decide whether the privacy afforded by tools like Signal is or could become important. Consider also the cost of switching, since all your contacts would need to switch as well. Hopefully, it gives you something to think about. For updates, for comments, for links both to the article and an EFF.org description of how to deal with potential surveillance, visit askleo.com/178123. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.